Hi, my name's Clarissa and this is my September TBR. I'm going on holiday for a week in September, so I'm planning to get a lot of reading done in that week. I'm going down to London, so I will be on a train for about 5.5 hours. So I do plan to use that time wisely, and without further ado, let's just get into my TBR. As well, if you've seen my book haul, which I'll link up the top if you haven't, I got a lot of books last month, so I'm trying to get through as many as I can. I normally read about 2 to 3 books, so I'm trying to break out of that this month and read more. As well, I've been in a little bit of a reading slump, so I'm hoping to get out of it as well this month. So without further ado, let's just get into it. And the first one I've got to read is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I've heard a lot about this book and I'm about 80 pages into it, I'm not that far into it. And it's about this guy called Kavothe, or however you pronounce his name, and basically he works at an inn, and this guy comes in and is like, dude, I know who you are. So he's telling his story about who he actually is, and it's really interesting so far. It's an epic fantasy and it is quite chunky, and yeah, I'm 80 pages into it, so I'm not that far into it, but so far I am really enjoying it. And the next book I've got to read is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. This was in my book haul, and I've heard a lot about this book. It's about this girl called Mia who becomes an assassin. She goes to this kind of school for it, and I believe it's kind of about her growing up and learning to become an assassin, which sounds really interesting. I have pre-ordered the sequel to this because it's signed and it's pretty, so I better like this one. I've had a lot of buzz about it even when it first came out in the hardback, but I didn't buy it at the time. So yes, I'm really looking forward to this one. Next one I've got is Traitors by Sebastien Castell. It's inspired by the Three Musketeers, and in this instance they're called Greatcoats. And the Greatcoats have been disbanded, so the guys from that are protecting this nobleman. And then he gets killed, and of course it's put on them because they haven't been paid, and now their reputation is on the line and they need to get free of all this evidence that's stacking up against them even though they haven't killed him. That's the idea of it, I believe. I do have also in the second one in this series, so I'm really looking forward to it. I've had a lot of good things about the series, so I can't wait. So, Traitors by Sebastien Castell. And because I bought a lot of starts of series last month, I've decided to try and conclude one, and that is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I read Six of Crows last month and I did really enjoy it. It ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, so I'm anxious to see what happened with it. It's basically, the first one, Six of Crows, revolves around this guy called Kaz and this group of people that he gets to perform this impossible heist in which they break a man out of prison. At least that's the idea. So they will band together, these completely different people, to try and make that happen. It ended in a way that I was like, ooh, I need to read more of this. So I've got the sequel to it here, and yeah, I love the way she writes the characters in the first one, so I'm really interested to see where they go. So Crooked Kingdom, Leigh Bardugo. And the last one I've got here is this beast of a book called The Way of Kings by Sanderson. It's over 1,000 pages long. It is the first volume of The Way of Kings, the Stormlight Archive series, because normally you can get them separate, book 1, book 2, but I just got them all together and it is a beast. It's like really fluffy though because there's so many pages. Basically, I'm not entirely sure what this is about. All I know is that some people prefer this to the Mistborn series, and as well the third book of it, I believe Oathbringer, is coming out. So there's a lot of anticipation around this series and I do want to get into it because I love Sanderson and this seems a very epic series. A lot of people have really recommended it to me once they've heard that I like Sanderson. They're like, oh, you've got to read this series. So I might read this. I might end up just taking this down to London because really the amount of pages in there, I'm like, I don't know whether I'd ever get through it, but yes. So The Way of Kings by Sanderson. I'm not entirely sure really what it's about. All I know is that there's a war involved and you kind of follow a soldier a bright lord and a young woman scholar, and that's basically the gist of it. A lot of the times with these synopsises of Brandon Sanderson's books, all you get is just basically you get different characters in the book and you don't really know what the plot entails, and I love that. I love going into it a bit blind and kind of stumbling your way through it. So The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson is the last book on this TBR. So this is my September TBR, and hopefully I'll get through all of them, if not the majority of them. And comment down below if you're reading any of these or you have read them. Let me know what you think of them, and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to follow me on Goodreads, I'll also link that down below so you can follow my progress and start conversations with me. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and bye!